Society is not always so welcoming to artists. It's like, how are you going to support yourself? How are you going to do what you do? How do you fit into the world? What's the world about? How does this all happen? So it's kind of terrifying to sort of set yourself into that path. But it's also wonderful because you get to explore your perceptions of the world.
I think artists have a talent, which is they can just drop off every ingredient from their perspective into a pot, and then you stir it. Of course, I have to stir it, and then, then mix and match. This is a beautiful porridge.
Most have been in Allston, like Allston. It's really kind of a convenient place to be, you know. I've had studios on the other side of the pike and here and this and that and that, but I've been here for more than 20 years.
My name is Clara Wainwright. I'm an artist, a quilt maker, and a public celebration artist. I used to have a studio in Somerville, and when it looked like we were going to all the artists were going to lose their space, I heard about this space. So my husband and I and my nephew bought this whole strip for very little money. And this had been an answering service, this room. The next one over had been a falafel kitchen. So I took the first two, my husband took the next two, and Ross bought my husband's space.
Natalie's working in the basement, Yolanda works here, and also at a video place across the street.
Ross is my very important mentor. The relationship between him, part of its mentorship, it has very large scale in our connection. Besides of mentorship, we're also more like very, very good friends.
Ross has a basement, which maybe you've seen, which has absolutely everything one would need. And he's the most generous person with his time.
Like, I love snaps. And so I made something that was, you could turn into different things. Like, there it is as a little bear. And because it's all with snaps, you can unsnap it. And there it is as maybe a little fox.
One day, Ross gave me 2 wires, and Ross said, "Yolanda, look at them. You have to make something." So I found, that's probably an assignment, and I didn't know anything about like sculpturing, about like welding, but I just using my hands and sort of use pliers and bend them, and I made my first sculpture. It's a connected sculpture, like a moonboat. And when I showed that to Ross, and Ross said, "Okay, you have to be very seriously thinking to be the artist."
There's a necessary opportunity for making physical things in the public space that offer a counter alternative view of what could be.
I'm very open to him. Like, whatever I have some doubt or I have some thoughts, I would share with him. And all the crazy ideas, if I said to him, he would just say, "Okay, let's do it." So I think I sort of started inheriting this very good and creative spirit. So anytime I wouldn't think, this idea is way too crazy, maybe I shouldn't think about it. But I would think, okay, this idea is really crazy. It's really good. Let's think about it, how to make it come true.
Well, it was 3 large explosions. We heard them ourselves, and you can see the thick black smoke still billowing over the hills in northeast Lviv.
One day, Ross sent to me a picture that was a picture in Lviv, Ukraine. That sculpture, I think everybody has seen it if you pass by Harvard Square. And I said, well, that's very striking.
The Ukraine Echo project that Yolanda and I developed, and it was in Harvard Square, that was thought about, on a Tuesday, looking at the news and going, oh my God, look what's happening in Lviv, Ukraine?
I really feel spiritually and physically feeling very happy. So I think that seriousness was really valuable, and I kind of participate. I think I have participated like what happened in Ukraine and Russia, just in that moment when I was wrapping that statue on a very tall ladder. Yeah.
Really believe in public spaces and in the kind of democratic opportunity of public spaces, parks, streets, subways, things. And so therefore I'm interested in public art, which is kind of a little subset of making things, which has to do with art objects, situations, conditions that are in the everyday world that people might not even know they're going to discover.
I started realizing my face is like just fragmented with all these shards. And I found this is really interesting because this is what all the people and all the human beings they're facing to. Art is more like therapy, but it's more like a process you explore yourself and to understand your connection between you and this world. And this will be very helpful for you to figure like what you want to do and who you want to be.
It's important because it allows people to express how they feel in a way that gets rid of, if they're very angry, they can put it in their art and hopefully externalize it.
Visual art is that you make something. You know, it's not all about talking. I mean, when you make something, then people bring their own experience to it, and hopefully it's a prompt for their thinking. I mean, we're in the middle of a war out in Ukraine right now. I mean, what the heck? You know, I mean, yeah. I mean, if the world is just capitalism and war, then art really is important.
So I'm still in like figuring out process, but I found I'm very good at transforming emotion and the abstract idea from my head into a physical work. So I will try to use art as a medium to cure myself and also to be the translator of myself.
Ross and Yolanda and I often have lunch together, and he probably told you, but when the weather's good, we have a Wednesday lunch where people come from, all the other artists in this area come, plus we always invite a guest or two. So sometimes there'll be, 15, 20 people, and everybody brings something great to share.
I think for a lot of artists, it's important to have a community, like a little village that you make, so that you can not feel like you're too alone in the world.
I know I have this amazing community, and they always being supportive and encouraging to me.
Ross is really the one who got all of that going. He's got all the furniture and the stove, and he's just this very exceptionally generous person. We knew of each other before, but we weren't really friends. Now we get together separately for other things, and it's just a fantastic little community.
It's often the people connections and the process of doing things that makes it the favorite thing.
So everyone is able to expand their whatever they do because they're in collaboration, and they know who can help them take that extra responsibility.
So now I'm also helping other artists. They're not from this community, but one person could have like many different communities. But I would just offer some opportunities to my friends and to connect somebody up, because I think they probably can be helpful to each other. So I sort of started doing just being an offer, and I really appreciate that I'm able to do it. And for this small community, I just want to cherish them as my family, because it's it's a real situation. I don't have family here, so I just want to hug this community as appropriately tight as possible.